Hey mama, hi mama. Oh my, oh mama don't cry. Gonna give you banana blowing so high. Reaching out to all the mothers in the world. Sometimes it's just the way things are to be, yeah.
Honoring and celebrating mothers traces as far back in recorded history as the ancient Egyptians. The Egyptian goddess Isis was considered the patron saint of women and children. She was revered among the Egyptians, who held an annual festival in her honor. Of all of the ancient Egyptian deities, her legend has survived the centuries and even crossed into other cultures. The Romans held a place for her in their temple and would have 3-day festivals. Most of the festival's dancers, musicians, and singers were all female. The Roman festival of Isis was celebrated to mark the beginning of winter or before an important battle. The ancient Greeks used to honor mothers every spring. For 3 days, the Greeks would hold a festival filled with games, parades, food, and entertainment. The festival was dedicated to the mother goddess Re. In Greek mythology, Re was a Titan, the mother of many Greek gods, including Zeus. Legend has it that Re's husband Kronos was fearful of a prophecy that told of him being overthrown by one of his sons. So whenever Re would give birth to a boy, Kronos would swallow the baby. When Zeus was born, Re hid him away in a cave and tricked Kronos into swallowing a stone she had wrapped in clothes. Eventually, Zeus returned to defeat his father and force him to vomit forth his brothers, who gratefully made Zeus their leader and joined him in revolt against the Titans. His mother goddess Re's name means flow and ease. As the wife of Kronos, she represents the eternal flow of time and generations. Every dawn of the ancient festival day, honey cakes and flowers were shared. This became a tradition that spread throughout Asia Minor, all the way to the Romans. The Romans tried to unsuccessfully introduce their own goddess Cybele to the Greeks. Cybele was also known as Magna Mater, or the Great Mother. The Roman celebration of Magna Mater took place between March 15th and March 22nd, around the same time as the Greek festival of Re. Later in Europe, an early incarnation of a holiday to honor motherhood started in the Christian Church. This day would be referred to as Mothering Day or Mothering Sunday. This became a day when whole families could gather together. By the 1920s, the custom of Mothering Sunday had spread to Ireland and other parts of Europe. When the first English settlers came to America, the Mothering Day tradition was left behind. There are different explanations for this happening. One reason being the harsh conditions the early settlers faced, which left little time for celebrations. Another reason was the Puritans that fled England to America wanted to practice more conservatively and ignored the more secular holidays. The first North American Mother's Day probably started with Julia Ward Howe's Mother's Day Proclamation in 1870. She was troubled by the death and destruction of the Civil War. She called on mothers to come together in protest of what she saw as senseless killing. Sons killing the sons of other mothers. Howe proposed converting July 4th to Mother's Day to dedicate to the nation's anniversary of peace. Instead, this new mother's holiday was designated on June 2nd. In 1873, women's groups across North America observed this new mother's holiday. But most of these groups died out when Howe's funding dried up. However, the seed was planted, and on May 9, 1905, a woman named Anna Jarvis began campaigning for an official day to honor mothers after her own mother had passed away. Anna Jarvis was inspired by her mother's life work and petitioned the church where her mother taught Sunday school to hold a Mother's Day celebration. On May 10th of 1908, the official Mother's Day celebration took place at 2 churches, one in Grafton, West Virginia, and the other in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The West Virginia event drew over 400, and Anna Jarvis arranged for white carnations to be given to every mother in attendance. Anna Jarvis quit working and devoted herself full-time to the creation of Mother's Day. After endless petitions, she finally convinced the World Sunday School Organization to back her, and in 1912, West Virginia became the first state to officially recognize Mother's Day. 2 years later, Woodrow Wilson signed it into national observance. From that point on, the second Sunday in May would be Mother's Day.
African, reuniting the African family for development.
And talking about that moral obligation to remember, this morning, as usual, every year we do this, we pay tribute to and honor and livicate the program to an outstanding mother. And this year, last year, it was our mother in South Africa, Winnie Mandela. And the years before that, we can go down the line and talk about who. But immediately last year, it was Mama Winnie Mandela, Winnie Madikizela Mandela. And this year, we're honoring and paying tribute to and livicating this entire program this morning to Tutu, Mama Tutu. Tutu of Ati, Tutu Busarite, Tutu, little known but the wife of Ani. We talk about the papyrus of Ani. We talk about the book of coming forth by day. We talk about the book of the dead. And that mainly comes from the Egyptian the book of coming forth by day really comes mainly from the papyrus of Ani. But we do not hear about the papyrus of Ani and Tutu. Tutu was a high priestess in the temple of Amen-Ra in Kemet. We do not hear much about her, a woman who's much forgot. But this morning, as part of our literary archaeology, as part of honoring our moral obligation to remember, we remember and bring forth and forward to this time and this place and this space, High Priestess Tutu of a temple of Amen-Ra, a woman who was called the singing woman of Amen. We bring her forward and call forth to this space, to this place, at this time, right now, as we livicate the program to her, High Priestess Tutu of Ati, Tutu Busarite. We're going to be reading a little bit about her this morning, or telling you a little bit about her too, because they were buried in the very same tomb, the papyrus of Ani, and a lot of the scrolls that were found in that tomb were found on the chest of High Priestess Tutu Busarite. She's also mentioned in the negative confessions, or the confessions of innocence. Hail Tutu, none of I. Hail Tutu, none of I. And that is something that we don't hear much about, we do not talk much about, but we must bring from the depths of antiquity those of our mothers, those women who are forgot, deliberately forgot, because that is part of the plan. So hail Tutu, High Priestess, singing woman of Amen, Shemat and Amen. Hail Tutu.
Running African, reuniting the African family for development.
Mother Goddess, Mother of Mothers, the mother who brought forth. Hey, want to say and acknowledge, because we told you before that we are acknowledging and paying tribute and honoring and livicating this program this morning to the High Priestess Tutu Busarite, Tutu of Ati, Tutu of the house of Amen-Ra, of a temple of Amen-Ra, Tutu Shemat and Amen, the singing woman. So if you've got a copy of the book that they love to call the Book of the Dead, but which really is the Book of Coming Forth by day. Oops. All right, I had all those pages marked and now I'm losing them. All right, if you have we've got many different many different publications. I've got a few myself, but the Wallace Budge publication is the one that I'm reading from now. So if you go to page 221 on the Wallace Budge copy, you'll find the reference to Tutu. Well, there are many, many references to Tutu. Tutu is a woman forgot. And we said before that is a crying shame, because we talk a lot, so much, about the papyrus of Ani. And I think we're going to have to correct ourselves to say the papyrus of Ani and Tutu. I don't think that will be so wrong, because of how she features into all of this. High priestess. You know, she was a high priestess in the temple of Amen-Ra, which means that Ani, her husband, was a scribe. And we're not putting on the husband to raise up the woman, but Ani was a scribe, and an important scribe. But being a high priestess in the temple of Amen-Ra meant that, and Wallace Budge mentioned it, and also Wasserman and others who have commented on this, meant that Ani would have benefited from her influence because of who she was. So Tutu, the wife of Ani, is called Lady of the House, and Shemat en Amen, singing woman of Amen. The first title shows that Tutu was Ani's chief wife, if he had more than one, and this has not been ascertained. The second, that she was one of the ladies of good family who was officially attached to the services of Amen-Ra, the king of the gods at Karnak. She attended, in your book, in your Wallace Budge, you'll see Thebes, and Thebes, of course, is Karnak. She attended in the temple and was one of the ladies of a choir who sang hymns to Amen and portions of the liturgy. High priestess, very, very important in the temple. She's usually represented carrying a sistrum, which she rattled as she sang in the choruses. The wires of a sistrum made a peculiar sound, which was believed to be efficacious in driving away fiends or evil from the sanctuary. Thus, though Ani himself, that's her husband, was a lay scribe, his wife was a priestess, and it is probable that he owed some of the offices which he enjoyed to her influence. I want you to do some reading on Tutu. It is very important for us to acknowledge her and to ensure that she is returned to her rightful place in history. We must pluck her from the pages of antiquity and make her real. Tutu, the wife of Ani. We know the name Tutu, but only with Desmond Tutu. But we don't necessarily know, a lot about Tutu. We know Ani, but we don't know a lot about Tutu. But what's interesting about Tutu is that she's written off a lot. The papyrus scrolls found in the tomb that held the papyrus scrolls of Ani, with the 42 negative confessions, with the laws of Ma'at, with the journey through Rastau, you know it, all of that. You know, she herself had those scrolls clutched on her chest in her coffin. And not only that, she had so much more with her in terms of her makeup, in terms of tools that she used, the liturgy. There's so much more, so please do some reading on her. I have written about her, and I do write a lot of poems, and I've written about her in a poem entitled The Singing Woman of Amen, tribute to Tutu, a praise song to Tutu, the wife of Ani, or Tutu of Ati. And that is to be published shortly in my book, Making Kenke from Memory, because I think we do have an obligation to honor our moral obligation to remember. It is our responsibility to do so. And this morning, as a mother of antiquity, as a mother goddess, as a mother of mothers, Shemat en Amen, we bring to the fore and bring to this space Tutu Busserite. Tutu, the woman forgot no more, no longer, but who we are plucking from the pages of antiquity and placing firmly in the space, because Tutu represents for us a woman that we can look to. And she, lots of women have been elevated in, say, the scriptures. And if you read about those women, I'm talking about the Bible, if you read about those women, you'll find that they very closely resemble the women of antiquity whose names are forgot. So let us study Tutu. Let us find out who she was, who she is, and then see if we can place her, not just in other books, but see if we can place her rightfully beside her husband, Ani, every time we talk about the scroll of Ani, but also in our homes. Because this is living history. Someone we can aspire to be more like. Someone we can point to in antiquity and say, I am Tutu, because I am my ancestor. So we bring her forward, Tutu Busarai, Tutu of Ati, Shamat, and Amen. We must also look at the word amen, A-M-E-N. It's not a Hebrew word, and this is, it's documented. It's not hard to find. Amen has no Hebrew root. It's not Aramaic. It's not Greek. Amen is an ancient Egyptian word. It is a Kemetian word, and it usually doesn't necessarily it's usually accompanied by Ra. Ra meaning the God. So amen was one of those words that got away from them and ended up in the Bible. And we say it every day, which is how we remember. Because at the end of our prayer, we use that word every day. Today, for example, a Sunday, that word is being used in the churches across the world. And you pray and you end by saying amen. And in some cases, when the pastor is preaching or the pastor's wife is exhorting, and you stand up and you say, let the church say amen. What do you think you're saying? I am not making this up. This is documented. It's at your fingertips. If only you would look. It's there. Amen is not a Hebrew word. It is a Kemetian word. It's not a Hebrew word. And every time you say it, every time we say it, it does also have a meaning. And Tutu Busarait, Tutu of Ati, was a priestess, a high priestess in the temple of Amen, in the temple of Amen Ra. This we must know, we must understand if we are to place ourselves at the beginning. If we are to reclaim who we are as mothers, we must reclaim Tutu Busarait. If we are to reclaim who we are as Africans, if we are to be Africans, we must reclaim our African identity. So we go forward in time, understanding the cycle, understanding the multiverse, understanding the parallel universe, understanding the universe. We go forward in time and we come forward in time with Tutu Busarait, high priestess of Amen, high priestess of a temple of Amen Ra. We're going to reclaim the word amen, even if we have to mispronounce it. All right, want also to go forward and come forward with Hatshepsut of Egypt, 15th century BC. Hatshepsut, as we go forward for our mothers, we go to collect our mothers and come forward, and that's what we're doing this morning. So we go forward to collect Hatshepsut of Egypt and come forward, 15th century BC. We go forward to Kandaki of Meroe, 3rd century BC to 2nd century AD. The Kahina of Maghreb, about 575 AD, 75 to 702. Amina of Horzaland, 15th or 16th century. Helena and Sabia Wangal of Ethiopia, 16th century. We go forward to 1581 to 1663, and we collect Nzinga of Angola. We come forward on this Mother's Day. I am my ancestor. We go forward to about 1682 to 1706, and we come forward with Donna Beatrice of Congo. We go forward to about 1781 to 1835. And we come forward to Mantha Tisi of Lesotho. We go forward to Madagascar, 1828 to 61. We come back with Rana Balanona of Madagascar. And we go forward to Buganda, 1817 to 82. And we come forward to an ancestor who's going to give us a little trouble to pronounce her names, but she demands that we reclaim the pronunciation. Muganzir Waza of Buganda. We go forward to 1840, 1860 to 1921. And even if we have to go to Seychelles to reclaim her, we go forward and we come forward with Ya Asantua of Ashanti. We go forward to Zimbabwe. We go forward to Zimbabwe, 1863 to 98. And we come forward with Nehanda of Zimbabwe. As we reclaim our mothers, we go forward to reclaim our mothers. We go forward to reclaim our mothers from the pages of antiquity, and for where we have placed them only in rituals and where we have placed them only in a kind of a romantic way. They were real and they are real. So on this Mother's Day, to understand ourselves as woman, to understand ourselves as mother, to understand ourselves as Africans, to be all of that is to be our ancestors. Also want to say a very special Mother's Day greetings to mothers still grieving the loss of their loved ones, to the injustice of crime and violence in Jamaica, to sickness and disease, to motor vehicle accidents, to fire, flooding and other natural disasters. Special Mother's Day greetings to mothers struggling with poverty, with unemployment and abandonment. To mothers whose children are missing, kidnapped or wrongfully incarcerated. To mothers who are severely challenged to cope with the stresses of life and have resolved to keep your commitment against all odds to carry on. To you, Mother Goddesses. Happy Mother's Day to you. Warrior woman, warrior mothers. And once again to the Mother Goddess who brought forth Asar, Aset, Nephthys, Set, and Heru at a birth from the womb of Nut. You're inside of the Africa Forum on this here Mother's Day. Sunday, May 8, 2016. Reuniting the African family for development. Reclaiming the motherhood. Reclaiming the mother out of antiquity. You're inside of the Africa Forum. It is Running African. Going to be talking now to Jerry Small about the Rasta Economic Forum that's on for this month. Actually, we've got work to do, so in the meantime, it's Mother's Day, but we've got to do our work. My brother Jerry Small is on the phone line. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning to you, Kabu, and to the Running African family.
Right, and happy Mother's Day to your wife.
Yes, ma'am, thank you very much. And my daughters were all mothers,
Yes,
all six
yes,
of them.
Yes.
And my own mothers and all of the mothers of my children, all the mothers of the Africans, all the mothers of all races,
Yes.
and Black Mother Africa.
Give
Mother
thanks.
Africa.
Of course, give thanks. All right, Jerry, so the Rasta Economic Forum, let us talk about that, because that started a few months ago, I think last year actually. The thinking behind that, let us start there before we come forward to what's going to be happening later on this month.
It started as an idea, an initiative by Asta Black, but it has been going on before, but he resumed the initiative, and it is not only Rasta, it has been restarted, kick-started by Rastafari. We cannot restrict our business, our culture, even our spiritual unity to Rastafari.
Yeah.
But the Rastafari families, that is the job of the Rastafari families. But it's all Africans and in fact all human beings sympathetic to Africa, all human beings. But it's, as you know, you yourself, we wanted you to be at the first one. And we stress to you and other people that this is not restricted to Rastafari. Matter of fact, we will not use the name Rastafari. His Majesty established, and His Majesty and others established the African, All-African Unity, Organization of All-African Unity. He could have called it the Rastafari All-African Unity.
Yes.
He knew that he must not restrict it to the fact that he was a pioneer. And it is about universal improvement, like Marcus Garvey, universal improvement in trade, improvement in the way we trade, and the way we share our trades, whether you're a tradesman or a tradeswoman, or whether you're a business owner, whether you own a premises or not. It is trade,
so
and it's universal improvement in trade. It's all like workshops, a series of workshops and expo. Everybody bring their goods and skills, information and knowledge.
Right, because this is what I was getting at. Practically on the ground, when in the forum, what happens? Is it a discussion? Or do you have are you working out issues? Are you looking at ways to go forward economically?
Yes.
What's it mean?
The first thing is this. We give people enough time to travel from the furthest end of Jamaica to anywhere it is being held. We are keeping it all over Jamaica little by little.
Yes.
So therefore, like I am hosting this one the 20th of May, the last Saturday in May. Also, we want to host them on the last weekend in the month where most people have money in circulation, and also on a Saturday, preferable to a Sunday. But sometime we will vary it to the Sunday. Now, the first thing we do, as I say, we give people enough time to come from the furthest end of the island to where it is being held. Like this week here now, this month, I am giving people 4 hours of daylight to reach from Negril Point to Greenwich Farm. 4 hours of daylight. Daylight now 5:30, but call it even 6.
Yes.
4 hours of daylight from 6 o'clock, you're leaving from Negril Point. You will be there by 10 o'clock. So the business session not going to start till 10. But we will be gathering from there from daylight. We'll even be providing food at a cheap cost as like breakfast if people want to come. The people must gather from early and start reason and interchange and trade. Bring them goods on display. Bring their skills and tell us, hey, you're a good lawyer or you're a good plumber like Fox. And you're there from any time from daylight up to 10 when the actual session starts. And you're displaying the things around. You even bring a car and show us how you did fix a car there.
Yes.
And we are there interchanging, eating breakfast, bringing your own breakfast, or buying breakfast there and interchanging phone number, looking for other people goods right around up to 10. After 5 in the evening when the last session done, is our next intermingling. We're going to have music a play also. Greenwich Farm is a center, not only have music, have seafood, have business from long time. It's a cultural center just like Halfway Tree.
And the thing I like about this, Mr. Jerry, is that, and it goes to the question that I was asking just now, is that when do you move the activism from the pages, from the virtual space to the real space?
We have done
and
so because from the first one Boxing Day 2015 down in a middle ground, a compound. Most of the people brought their goods there. That's where I brought all my end-of-year presents. I bought all of my end-of-year presents at that place there from different people there. Sister Rachel, the lady with the English accent, I bought about 3 dolly, black dolly, dress up in the things that she make from her, and I give my granddaughter them. A matter of fact, I was extended some credit, but don't expect Rachel to extend the credit, you know. But when we're bond together as business people, we get all credit. Just like all the big business people, then get the 130-day credit, you know, all overseas.
Of course.
They want to see in the new year when my money start coming, I pay for them nice dollar there. But I prefer pay cash. And so therefore we're not going to move off the page. From the first day we were trading. People discover Mr. Carter, the JC man, say he's a great financial consultant and coach in a business. People discover say Tekla is an educator who prepare him children at home, never went to school, and his children qualified for university from all 11 years old. Abka Fitzhenley, which is Tekla's son, qualified to enter university from him was 11 years old. So Tekla will coach your children. People met Tekla there and know, so it's Tekla them want to coach them children. People want people to take care of old people. They met people there who will travel to your yard, even anywhere in the island, and come take care of old people who have driver's license, will go shopping for you.
In other words, practical solutions. And we just have a minute left. The next forum is going to be in Greenwich
Greenwich Farm. 5th
Greenwich
Street,
Farm.
Mr. Dunn's Trucking and Transport Center. He's the same proprietor of Middle Ground Guest House in the compound.
And the date is?
28th, Saturday the 28th of May, the last Saturday in May.
Right, that's 2/8.
And listen here now, this decade, you can't tell me the proper name, has been declared by United Nations as the decade of African, what?
People of African descent.
The decade for the people of African descent. Well, I declare, and we will do so, this 21st century is a century where the people of African descent, especially the diaspora, will become the #1 economy in the world. China has done it. China and Japan from 1950, China and Japan has overtaken the world in a trade and manufacturing in 66 years. We will do that in the 86 years that remain in this century, and we'll do it before the 21st century done.
We'll leave it on that.
We the African. Universal improvement is a kind of business round robin.
And as Marcus Mosiah Garvey says, can we do it?
Yes,
we
because
can.
that's why he established the African Communities League.
Yes.
It was a business side. What name again? Negro Factories Corporation and African Communities League. That's what he was doing. Well, we are doing now African Business Community, ABC, but that includes all the other races too.
Of course. Give thanks, Jerry. Thank you so much.
I thank you, Cabo. Extend greetings and welcome to 5th Street, 28th of May, the last Saturday. Bring your business, bring your trade, tell people, say, we work for how much a week, doing security guard work, anything. And the security guard, they must get together and form them one company and stop get robbed.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Jerry.
you, Cabo.
Very good point.
Running African, reuniting the African family for development.